But we do have to talk about Chris Jericho because this was a major story today that grew and was. It's difficult because there is not a whole lot of facts that we can rely on in this case, but there is, a lot of discussion that was generated all day long, and that kind of materialized into a pretty anti-Chris Jericho reaction on the pay-per-view tonight. So if we want to go back, so earlier this week, Nick Houseman had made a comment on his show and made a comparison point of Chris Jericho. And this kind of brought up a story that had been out there years ago that we really had no kind of a basis for, involving Kylie Rae's exit from AEW. And at the time that happened, there were rumors that went around, but nothing that could be confirmed or reported on. And Kylie Rae, at that time, when she got her release from AEW, she did put out a statement in 2019. And in essence, what she included in there was the fact that, noting that I don't know many rumors, and honestly, I try to stay away from everything. And she explained that while she was leaving AEW, no one was making her leave. And then it was also brought up at a scrum by Sean Ross Sapp to Tony Khan addressing Kylie Rae, and he said it was a very amicable split. She came, she asked for her release, and she has been released. And that's sort of where things stood. And we've seen Kylie Rae. She went to Impact for a period. She's gone to different companies since then, but she did leave wrestling for a period and then came back as well. So with this comment that was made by Nick Houseman, it brought up these rumors again. And then what added, I would say, substance to everything was that Kylie Rae, in a roundabout way, acknowledged the reports by going to the bottom of this tweet thread that you can see and just including a heart emoji. So this is not her outright confirming this, but it's certainly her not dismissing it or at all negating it. So as you could expect, when you see this, it then exploded afterward, and this became a major trending topic online all day. And we're at a point right now where, typically in these types of stories where an accusation is made, it is, typical that we want to hear both sides from this. We don't even have the allegation from Kylie Rae's perspective and from her side. We have not even heard from her about what happened, what did not happen, what is the in-between. Chris Jericho has not commented about this. We are, for those that are listening, we are doing this as the press conference is probably just getting underway. And we will update if this is brought up during the press conference. I would imagine Chris Jericho is not going to be at this press conference, but Tony Khan will be. So that's where we stay at this point, Way. And I don't know how much more we can go into it beyond it's a story and it does need to be addressed. If you are Chris Jericho, you need to either, AEW needs to have a very clear idea of what happened, what did not happen. This is involving a performer that you did release. Is there smoke to this fire? And if not, if you are Chris Jericho, you want to make it very clear that this is not true and clear your name. But this is one that I don't think can just be dismissed and forgotten. And hopefully the news cycle sweeps this one up. It was very noticeable tonight. And that's where I'm at. It needs to be addressed in a meaningful fashion. And with respect to Kylie Rae as well, who is in the middle of this.
Yeah. Not much we could say about the allegations themselves without knowing more information. There's been a lot of discussion, of course, not just about the story, but about the way it was brought up and into the world through Nick Houseman's podcast, and I suppose the suggestion of the NDA in response to that Jericho tweet on Christmas as well. There's just nothing we know to be able to responsibly, convey to a larger audience besides what you have, so eloquently, I think, talked about. This might not necessarily have been something we would have mentioned on the show if not for this response from Kylie Rae. Seemingly it's a story when the person that is, I guess, being talked about addresses it, even as something as vague as an emoji. So we're just kind of really like, talking in the dark about everything that's going on, but we do have these facts, and I really hope we get more information hopefully as early as now in the middle of this press conference. I really do feel like Tony needs to at least make some sort of statement. Your kind of your PR really depends on it. And this is not a story I see many people just kind of letting go lightly. There's a lot of pressure I see from people towards the members of the media that are present today to ask and press a question like this. So I have to think they're preparing something. And you know what? Update us, chat room. By the way, I'm told by a couple people that they've disabled the chat in the media scrum on YouTube today. So
okay, I was not aware of that. So, I mean, if we have any updates, we will convey them. And people that are listening live, I mean, you're going to be on top of it as much as I have, but hopefully I will be getting messages as well. So I'm getting, as we speak, I don't know who asked the question, but Tony Khan was asked, what has been done to prevent sexual harassment in the past and going forward? And Khan's response was, we have a policy in place. We make sure we do everything we can. We have the best safety record. So I'm just getting these notes in real time. So anything that comes around, we will see if there's any specifics.
And
he is wearing a wig and glasses that was put upon him as he is answering this very serious question.
A very fuzzy hat, courtesy of Tony Storm.
Oh, it's a hat. I'm sorry.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. He says, if anything came to light to him, he would take it to the disciplinary committee. Everyone has an open line to him or anyone in the committee. I mean, we're talking about a situation that was potentially, allegedly, years ago, before the formation of any known disciplinary committee. So this is fine but I mean, it sounds like this was not specifically asking about the Jericho story. And so he's just giving kind of boilerplate assessment of how they handle these situations. So just going back to the presser, so it was brought up and Tony Khan was asked, is Chris Jericho or was he under any kind of investigation? And Tony Khan's response was that he can't speak to internet unsourced rumors, and repeated about safety and open doors in AEW. So it looks like he is not going to go into any kind of discussion over this, but I mean, based on that answer, I mean, you can take from it what you will.
Well, thank you to whoever asked that question.
Yes, it was very important, and that these questions be asked, and applause to those that brought this up. Absolutely.